My name's Kirsty and I work within the external relations team at Liverpool Hope. So my job involves working with schools and colleges all around the country and trying to sort of give students as much information on university as possible. We're also joined by Jessica, who's one of our current students and also one of our student ambassadors. So she works for the university doing a lot of our virtual events at the moment, which will hopefully go to our physical events and things like that in the coming weeks and months. So Jessica's here to answer any of your questions that you have sort of from a student point of view. If anyone has got any questions, there's a Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. So just stick your questions in there, and if Jessica can answer them as I go through the presentation, she will. If not, we'll come back to them at the end and we can answer them for you that way as well. Okay. Right, so let's begin. Just a second. Okay, so a little bit about Liverpool Hope. Some of you might have visited Liverpool Hope before the pandemic, and I know we've been running campus tours for the past couple of weeks as well, so some of you might have had a chance to come over and see our campuses as well already. If not, I'll give you a little bit of information. So we started off as an original college was in 1844 as a teacher training college. We've got around 6,000 students. Now that includes undergraduate, postgraduate and our PGCE students. Our campus that I'm at today, which is our Hope Park campus, which I'll show you some images of as we go through, but that's our main teaching campus. And we also have our creative campus, which is another teaching campus. So we've spent about 60 million on campus developments sort of over the last 5 to 10 years. And I will show you some images of campus so you can see some of the buildings and the facilities that we have. And we've got around 330 courses. Now that's a mixture of single and combined honours. So some of you might be doing just sort of one course, which is known as a single honours, or you might be doing a mixture of two courses, which is a combined honours. If you're doing that, then you'll study like your two courses, 50% each subject. So depending on what you're doing, but we've got a lot of different combinations at the university. We're only a short distance from Liverpool city centre, so we're about 20-25 minutes on the bus to the city centre and about 20 minutes to the airport. So our closest airport is Liverpool John Lennon Airport, which is about 20. So some of our recent successes, they're all listed on our website, but we were ranked 5th in the UK for student satisfaction. So we're really proud of some of our statistics that we're showing. So a little bit about our campuses. So like I said, we've got our Hope Park campus, which is our main and our largest teaching campus, and that's about 20 minutes from Liverpool city centre. Then we've got our creative campus, which is home to all our creative and performing art subjects. So the likes of dance, drama, graphic design, fine art, drama and theatre studies, those types of things, music production, musical theatre. Any of our creative and performing arts subjects are studied at our creative campus. Now our creative campus is really close to Liverpool city centre. So it's probably about a 10-minute walk to actually get into the city centre from the campus. So it's situated in a really good place. And some of you may find that you're studying a combined course and you're situated at Hope Park and at our creative campus. So it might be that you're doing something like drama and English, for example. Your drama is based at creative and your English is based at Hope Park. So you've got sort of the best of both campuses as well. We also have Egberth Park, which is our residential campus. And this is about 3 miles from the city centre and Hope Park. So about 20 minutes from our Hope Park campus and from the city centre. And this is just a campus which is solely for halls of residence. So you may also find that you've chosen Egberth Park as your preferred accommodation, and that's where your halls are. And then we also have a outdoor education centre called Plas Cardian, which is in North Wales. Now the main focus of this is to deliver residential outdoor activities, but majority of our courses do go to Cardian for for part of their course as well. So you can get a lot of like sort of social interaction and things like that at the campus there as well. So that's a great place to visit, and you will do that as part of your course as well. So a little bit about living on campus. So we are a campus-based university, which means that all our facilities are here on campus. So everything that the students need are based here on campus. So the building that I'm sitting in now, which is our education building, if I look out the window, I can see our lecture theatres, I can see our library, I can see some of our accommodation, that type of thing. So everything is in a very short walking distance on campus. Within campus, we have senior resident tutors who assist with the sort of the well-being of all campus activities and social events. So our resident tutors live in our halls of residence as well. We'll have I'll touch on this a little bit more as we go through the presentation. So campus accommodation is guaranteed for all first years. So we have accommodation at our Hope Park campus, our creative campus, and like I said, our Edward Park campus as well. So all first years will be guaranteed accommodation. Obviously, the sooner that you apply for accommodation and put your preferred choice, the better really, but you will be guaranteed accommodation regardless. So it's really easy to make friends on campus and experience sort of campus life to its fullest as well. A lot of students do live on campus for the first year, and then second and third year they move out into private accommodation or houses and things like that with the group of friends that they've made, which is really nice. And there's in the area around all our campuses, there's a lot of sort of student residential areas as well, so it's really easy, and our accommodation team will support you with all that type of thing as well. So there's 24-hour security on all 3 campuses, which is really reassuring for our students and parents and families and things like that if they've got any concerns. Our security lodge is open 24 hours, and the security staff are really helpful. They're there to support the students throughout the university journey. So the lady that you can see on screen now is a lady called Ruth, and she was one of our students, and then she became one of our graduate advocates. So she was from Northern Ireland as well. So yeah, we've got a really big sort of Northern Irish community on campus. A lot of students that we have come from Northern Ireland, which is great. So I'll show you now a couple of images of our three main campuses. So this is our Hope Park campus. So the image that you can see at the bottom, which you might have seen on some of our sort of promotional materials, prospectuses, website, things like that. This building is our HCA building, which stands for our Hilda Constance Allen. So each of our buildings have got different names that represent sort of historical figures related to the university as well, which is nice. And the grass in the middle, we call that our rector's lawn, because our Vice-Chancellor sits in the office in the HCA building as well. The gym is also featured on there. We have some of our lecture theatres, which is shown there as well. The image in the very middle of the screen is our health science building, which is one of our newest buildings on campus. So things like sport and exercise, science, health, nutrition, clinical nutrition, applied biomedical health. A lot of those types of courses are based within our health science building. The image at the top, you can see is our sports centre. So there are 2 of our sports halls. And then the image at the top to the right is an area on campus called Our Place, which is a very sort of student focused area. They have a lot of student activity going on, so quiz nights, film nights, things like that. So a lot of students will go to Our Place. It's a great way to sort of make friends and interact with other students as well. Then we have our creative campus, which I spoke about, for our creative subjects. So in the creative campus, you can see our capstone theatre, which is the theatre that we have on campus. You can see some of the art facilities, and some of the classroom spaces that we have as well. So at our creative campus, we have a couple of different buildings. So we have our cornerstone building, we have our capstone building, we've got our art centre. So each building will have different sort of facilities in that support students that are studying any of the creative and performing arts subjects. And then this is Edward Park, which is our residential campus. So like I said, it's about 20 minutes away from Hope Park and the city centre. And it's ensuite accommodation. So there's things like common rooms and social spaces and things like that at Egworth Park as well. So it's also a great way to meet students as well who are living there. And you might find students are living there and they're studying the same course as you as well, which is a nice mix. And then this is Cardigan. So a couple of images of Cardigan, which is our outdoor educational centre as well. So you can see some of the activities that go on there. So you've got canoe and rock climb and that type of thing. But like I said, even if you're not studying anything sort of sport related or anything like geography, environmental science, any of those types of subjects, you will still get the chance to go to Cardigan as part of your course as well. So you will get to experience it as well, which is nice. So studying at Liverpool Hope. So you might have spoken to some tutors already and members of sort of our team and our student development and wellbeing team. But we do learn in really small groups here at Liverpool Hope. And it's top researchers within their fields as well. But there's also a lot of opportunities to do things outside of the curriculum and be sort of encouraged to do that within your course and externally as well. So we do a lot of sort of extracurricular things as well that go on top of your course. We have an integrated curriculum, so you sort of study the year as a whole rather than in specific modules as such. So it's more of sort of education in the round, and you're studying over the full sort of course, the year of the course. We do have opportunities to study abroad and to do things like a year in industry as well. So you might have already chosen a course that is sort of comes with the year in industry. Study abroad is available for our students, and how that works is majority of students will come to Liverpool Hope, they'll do their first year, and then in second year they'll decide to go abroad, and they'll either do like part of the course, so one semester, or the full year, which will be the 2 semesters type thing, the way they're split. So majority of students will go and study abroad and do the full second year, which is great, and then they'll come back and do third year back at Liverpool Hope. So study abroad's a great way to sort of go to a different country, experience different cultures and things like that, but also it's not an addition to time on your course as well, which is great, and you'll come back with tons of experience as well. We do offer degrees with foundation years, which some of you may already be signed up for and you've applied for, which is great. So the degree with foundation year is usually a 4-year course, so you'll sort of study your foundation year first, and then you'll go straight into your 3-year course if that's what you've selected. Career support is also included within the curriculum, so we've got a great careers team here at Liverpool Hope who support you right from first year until after you've graduated as well, which is great. So a little bit about class structures and sizes and things like that. So Liverpool is a massive student city. So we've got over 50,000 students in Liverpool. So there's a real buzz around the city centre as well. Like I said, there's 6,000 at Liverpool Hope. So we're relatively small in comparison to some of the other universities in the city. We're actually the smallest university in the city of Liverpool. But that's how we want it. We, our class sizes are small. Our campus will probably look really big to you if you've been before or you haven't visited yet. When you visit for the first time, it will look really big, but it's really easy to navigate around and things like that. So you will get used to campus life. So in terms of sizes, we have within your course, you'll have your lectures, you'll have tutorials, you'll have seminars and things like that. So our tutorial groups are usually around 10 to 15 students per group, and seminars about 20 to 25. So your tutorial and your seminar groups will generally stay the same throughout the year. So you'll stay with your same small group of students throughout the year, which is nice because you really get to interact with them and know how each other learn and that type of thing, and you get to really connect with your tutor as well that you have for your tutorials. We also have personal tutors, so everybody will be assigned a personal tutor, and your personal tutor will be a tutor that delivers on your course or one of your courses that if you've applied for a combined course, and they're there to offer support, advice, guidance, and you can contact them outside of class hours as well. And all academics will have they have their office-based hours, but they also have hours outside of office and class hours where you can contact them if you've got any queries or questions or you need support with anything while you're studying. So just a couple of little student quotes. So this is Joshua. Again, he's one of our students here studying English Lit and Media and Communication. Again from Northern Ireland, so these are just some of the quotes. So lecturers offer great support and care how we're going. Liverpool isn't mad big, so much stuff crammed into a wee area. So if you've got any questions about sort of anything that our students have mentioned and throughout the presentation, feel free to ask them in, and obviously Jessica's here from a student point of view as well, so she'll be able to answer the sort of the student focus questions as well. And then this is Gemma. So Gemma studied tourism management, and Gemma is also one of our student ambassadors, so she'd worked with us right from first year up until third year as well, which was great, on loads of activities and events and things like that we run. So she sort of had the studying side of things, then she had the work environment as well, and then she was also part of a lot of clubs and societies as well, so she got involved that way as well. So she sort of had a massive involvement within all aspects of Liverpool Hope. So a little bit about this information. You might have seen this again on some of our promotional material and the website and things like that, but the Teaching Excellence Framework is a sort of it's awarded for different universities, and they look at the high quality of teaching and the outstanding teaching and the learning that's provided to students. So these are some of the points that it picks up on throughout, and gold is actually the highest standard that you can achieve sort of within the excellence framework, which is what Liverpool Hope's got, so we're extremely proud of that as well. So a little bit about accommodation. Now some of you may already have the accommodation that you're wanting, and you've got your sort of your place in accommodation, which is great. You might have even come and had a campus tour and seen the accommodation. I'll go through the different types of accommodation, but if anyone has got any questions about accommodation, please feel free to ask as we go through. So a couple of things to consider when you're moving away or abroad type thing. So travel costs, so how much is it going to cost getting to and from home for the holidays and things like that, and I'm sure Jess will be happy to talk if anyone's got any questions. But as if you book in plenty of time, you can usually get flights and things like that pretty cheap. Just make sure that you're sort of being prepared and organised. The boat is also reasonably priced as well, so there's lots of options. So would you want to live in the city or in the suburbs? Are you thinking about campus-based or city-based university? So these are just some of the things to think about, and things like private or university accommodation. So like I said, a lot of first years do live on campus for first year and then move into private accommodation for second and third year. So you'll probably find that is what you would do. And then you've got the option of ensuite and shared accommodation. So at Liverpool Hope, we have a mixture of both ensuite and shared halls of residence. So we'll have a little look as we go through sort of as the pros and cons. So our ensuite and our shared is all on campus. So you have a communal kitchen and a common room in both of them as well. They're swipe card entry, so you can only get into your specific halls of residence with your swipe card, which you'll get once you come to campus and you register. It just looks a little bit like this, just an ID card, but you'll be given all that on sort of registration when you arrive. But yet to get into halls, you need to make sure you have your swipe card. Within each room, whether it's ensuite or shared, you have your bed, your wardrobe, you've got a study area, chair, chest of drawers, you have unlimited Wi-Fi in the rooms as well. And then there's sort of different types now when we move on to ensuite and shared. So obviously with the ensuite, you have your own bathroom, whereas in shared, it's a shared bathroom and shared shower spaces and things like that, which some students absolutely prefer and would rather a shared facilities. They find it's a better way to sort of interact and meet new people, that type of thing. You might be sitting there thinking there's no possible way that I could share a bathroom with someone, and that's absolutely fine. So an ensuite option would be better for you. Obviously the ensuite come up at a little bit more expensive than the shared facilities. So there's just some examples of the prices. And the accommodations are mixed genders. So how they normally try and work is that in the ensuite, they have sort of flats. So for example, flat 1 would have flat 1, A, B, C, D and E. So there's sort of 5 flats off flat 1. So they would tend to keep everybody in that sort of those 5 flats as female. And then like the flat above could be a mixer of all males, but usually they try and keep them sort of specific like that, but the actual halls of residence are mixed genders. These are some images of some of our accommodations. So again, we've got here a few images of shared and ensuite halls, so you can see the types of things that you're looking at. So the rooms they're pretty spacious. You might have been to a few universities already and had a little look around and been on some campus tours and seen accommodation. The rooms actually at Liverpool Hope are a really good size. You do get a lot of space in them as well. The spaces at the top that you can see in the middle, that's sort of the common room area that all our accommodation have. So just a nice space really, with a TV for you to interact with other people that live in your halls as well. So I don't know whether anyone's been to an open day before. Most of our open days that you may have been to and actually seen the campus were pre-COVID. Since lockdown, all our open days have been virtual. We are hoping from October onwards that we can sort of do physical open days and get students onto campus, which will be great. But we do have an open day this Saturday, which is a virtual open day. So if you did want to register, you can register on our website, and there will be some virtual campus tours going on. So if you did actually want to see the campus, see what it's like, that type of thing, then there will be a virtual campus tours being delivered on Saturday. So that's just another chance. There's also on the virtual open day, there's a lot of like galleries and facility galleries, accommodation galleries and things like that. So you can have a little flick through with some of the different images of campus as well. So like I said, Saturday's virtual, and then hopefully from there, fingers crossed, we can go to physical events, which will be great. So a little bit about some of the extracurricular activities that are available. So we have something called Hope Works, which obviously Jessica's one of our student ambassadors, so she would register for Hope Works, which is our student employment company on site type thing. So it's run by the university for university students. So you sign up for Hope Works and basically you get emailed when there's jobs on campus, which is great. We have jobs within our team, we have them in the library, we have them in catering. So there's a lot of different jobs available on campus. And if you are living on campus or close to campus, it's really good to get involved with. You know, there's no travel expenses, and the work it's always really exciting and fun. And again, it's a great way to meet new students who are also ambassadors as well. We have our students' union that are based on Hope Park campus. So their offices is in our lecture theatre, sort of a foyer area. But our students' union are part of organising all the clubs and societies and things like that we offer. So if there is anything that you'd like to get involved with, they're all organised from our students' union. You can also create your own society or club. So if there's something that you're really interested in and we don't currently have a club or society for it, then you can create your own. There's like a certain amount of people that you need to get, and then once you've got that amount, you're fine to go ahead and create your own club or society, which is good. And it's exciting if you are interested in something quite niche and something that others aren't, which is nice. We have our induction week and freshers fair. So if you are starting in September, then you will get to experience some of these as well. CV building, again, studying any course, you have this opportunity. So our careers and employability team can provide help and support with things like your CV. They can provide help if you've got an interview for a part-time job, things like that. So they'll do mock interviews, they'll read over your CV, proofread, things like that if you've done an application form, that type of stuff, which is really helpful. Study abroad, which I mentioned earlier, which is available. There's absolutely loads of different places that you can go on study abroad. All that our team do is they match up the course that you're currently studying, they match to one of our partner universities that offer that course. So that's where you will how you'll be matched up to the study abroad options. We also have something called SALA, which stands for our Service and Leadership Award. Now this is something that students can get involved with sort of as an addition to their degree. So you have to do a certain amount of sort of service hours. This is all voluntary, but you can, a lot of students do it in things like Bernardo's or the British Heart Foundation or certain charities that are close to home type thing. So the SALA award is addition to your degree, but you are sort of recognised for it in your graduation ceremony at the end of your course. So in the cathedrals, we've got 2 cathedrals in the city centre, so whatever one we're at that year that you're graduating, you will be recognised for your Service and Leadership Award as well. We also have Global Hope, which is our university charity. So again, organising activities and things like that to get involved with. So as part of Global Hope, there's a lot of places around the world that you can go visit, and they do a lot of things in like orphanages abroad, schools abroad, things like that. So a lot of students will go together with a member of staff and they'll go on a Global Hope project. You do a lot of like fundraising and things like that before the event. So that's really good as well. And then we also do the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Awards as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, then think about getting involved with that from September, October time. So a little bit about sort of Liverpool and Ireland and the things that we've got going on. So we host a lot of Liverpool Hope Irish Nights on campus. Now these are mainly run by Northern Ireland students, and there's a lot of like quizzes, Irish music, traditional Irish foods. They do films, things like that, and it's just a chance for students sort of from Northern Ireland to get involved with each other. A lot of the time you'll find that you meet people that are literally from a town like half an hour from you, and you've never came in contact before, or it could be even closer. We find that a lot, and Jess can probably back me up on this, that you will meet other students from Northern Ireland that you hadn't met before, which is really nice. We also have something called the Liverpool Irish Festival. So this year it'll run on from the 21st to the 31st of October. And it's an arts and culture sort of led festival, an Irish festival based in the UK. So there's music, it's art, performance, foods type thing. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, that's something to get involved with. We've got a lot of Irish sporting teams, and we've had massive successes over the last sort of 2-3 years. So some of these are just on the screen at the moment. So you can see the men's GAA, the women's GAA, there's rugby league winners, netball, basketball. So again, these are women and men's teams. So when you start our student union in Freshers Week and that type of thing, they'll be promoting all these activities. Anybody that's involved with any of these teams will be available for you to speak to. So if you wanted any further information about being involved with one of the sporting clubs, then speak to the team members as well. They normally have like the captains and a few members of the teams at all our events, so you can speak to them and get involved. And all I'd say is, and stress that if it's not something that you've done before, give it a try. It's a great way to make new friends, but also to find something that you could be really passionate about as well. So yeah, don't be afraid to try something new. A little bit about student finance. So obviously student finance NI is very different to Student Finance England, so that's just something to be aware of. So the maintenance support that's available differs slightly for Northern Irish students. So I've put some of the facts and figures up there. Obviously things like your maintenance loan and your maintenance grant depend on household income and that type of thing. So you will need to speak to your parents or guardians, and sort of, if you haven't applied for your student finance already, I would stress to go on to Student Finance NI and start looking into it. Okay, the NI, the Student Finance team, are really helpful. So if you've got any questions, they're happy for you to email in. They have online chats and things like that available. So again, if you haven't applied, try and make that a priority over the next week or so. A little bit about support that's available on campus. So we have we have a team called Student Development and Wellbeing. Now, within the Student Development and Wellbeing team, we have learning support, we have counselling, we have disabled student support, and then we've got obviously our careers and team and things like that based within there. And we have university chaplains that are based in our chaplaincy. And again, like I mentioned, we've got our residential tutors that are available in halls of residence. And the residential tutors are there as a support mechanism for you if you've got any questions or you need support with anything within your halls of residence, but also within your course or within university in general. So within the support at Liverpool Hope, there's a lot of different support teams that are there for different aspects and different needs. And again, they're really helpful. When you arrive, you'll be introduced to the team as well. So you'll know exactly who they are, where they're based, where their offices are, contact details, that type of thing. So they're there to support you throughout your whole university journey. A little bit about our entry profile. Which you're probably aware of if you've applied and you are planning on starting Liverpool Hope in September. But we've got different sort of offer levels. We accept things like A-levels, BTECs, the Irish Leaving Cert, things like that, an access course. We do a mix of qualifications. So, you know, if you've got a mixture of A-levels and BTECs, we'd accept things like that. So this is just our typical sort of entry profile and our typical entry requirements. Obviously, if you've been made an offer by our admissions team, every application is reviewed on an individual basis as well. So don't panic if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, I don't think I'm going to quite meet that. And the university and the admissions team sort of take a sort of holistic approach to every application, and they review them all on an individual basis. So each application will be reviewed individually as well. So, like I said, just a little bit to round up a little bit about Liverpool. So these are some images of our city. If you haven't been before, I hope you're really, really excited to come to Liverpool. It's a great city. Like I said, it's really student focused. So there's around 50,000 students based in Liverpool. So it is a really student sort of orientated city. You can see some of the images on here. So the image on the right shows our two cathedrals. So you will graduate in one of these cathedrals as well. There's a couple of like festival and events type things. There's a couple of museums. The image on the left at the top is our library building. And then at the bottom, you can see sort of the Liverpool and the Everton football stadiums and things like that. So there are two main football teams as well. The bottom right is the Palm House, which is in Sefton Park, which is a park that you will become familiar with as a student. It's really close to the university, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful park. So a lot of our students spend a lot of time in Sefton Park as well. And then you can see the images of the four in the middle is the Beatles, which is obviously a really memorable Liverpool band. Another image near the middle is Liverpool One, which is our shopping centre in the city centre. So if you haven't visited already, I'm sure once you get here, Liverpool One will be one of your first stops. It's got all the high street and some sort of independent brands as well, a lot of bars, restaurants. So there's a lot of things going on in Liverpool One as well, which is really nice. So a little bit about sort of Liverpool or where we are. So like I said, if you haven't visited before, it's really close and obviously really cost effective to get to Liverpool. So a couple of bit of information on flights. So there's daily flights from Belfast International, George Best and City of Derry airports, which is really good. So and it's really, really quick. There's also the ferry as well, which is around 8 hours, Jess, that's about right, isn't it? Yeah. So depending on your needs, so like some students, if they've got a car or they want to bring a lot of stuff with their car, they'll choose to get the ferry. I know, Jess, you get flights to and from all the time, don't you? So if anyone's got any questions sort of about the travel, and I know a lot of our Northern Ireland students say like it's really quick to get home, and like students who come to Liverpool and they're from like London or Birmingham, then you can get home a lot quicker than them as well, considering that you've got to get a flight. So we are sort of in a really good location, and it's really quick and easy and cost effective as well. So a little bit about Irish community care just before we finish off. So the Irish community care, I'll pass to Jess in a minute because she knows a little bit more about this than me, and she's been involved with this a little bit more. But these are a charity that are based in Liverpool, and they're based in Liverpool city centre, and they're there as a support mechanism really for advice and support, volunteering opportunities, to get connected with the Irish community. They offer a lot of activities that are free, and quite a good way to make friends as well. So Irish community care will probably be a big part of your time here as well, and it'd be good to get involved with as well, and it's a great way to make friends. And Jess, have you got anything to add about Irish community care, anything that you've experienced or that type of thing?
Well, they're really helpful. They ask students a lot what they want. So on St. Patrick's Day, obviously it was all virtual and stuff like that, but usually they have like an afternoon tea, and they have singers, like they fly people over from Ireland, and they usually chat about how to like make students feel more comfortable. So on St. Paddy's Day, I got like an Irish tea, like the Punjana tea, which you probably know is like a delicacy over here, and like potato crisps. They've also got like a shop in the actual and like in the building that has like potato crisps and Irish sausages and stuff that they fly over, which is kind of like a comfort. Like you don't think about it until you're in Liverpool and you get a packet of potato crisps. You literally think it's God's gift. Like, but we got loads of stuff given to us on St. Patrick's Day, and they sent it over. And they're also really good for volunteering opportunities, because you're working with you're probably working with like older people, as well, and like when they're doing afternoon teas or society clubs and stuff like that. So it's good to have on your CV as well that you've worked with this company, and they're always there to take suggestions and stuff. But their social media stuff is there anyway, so you can have a wee look as well.
Yeah, get following, and then at least you've had a little look, and you sort of know what to expect come September, October time. Okie doke. Right. Okay, so just to finish off, and just in summary, so like I said, Liverpool is a great it's a thriving student city. We're a really close-knit community. You will feel at home within a few weeks of being here. Staff and students on campus are so friendly, but also like people just around the city centre in general and around the campus areas are also really friendly and approachable and that type of thing. So you will feel really safe and secure. And like I said, campus life is safe. Our security team are available 24/7. They're on campus for support, and they're there to make you feel safe. We know our students sort of on an individual basis because our class sizes are really small. So you will become familiar with the security staff. You will become familiar with the library staff, with the staff that are based on our Gateway building, which is our sort of main student sort of focused building for the university. So you will become available with the people that give you your post and that type of thing, and they'll start to know you by name and recognise you and that type of thing. So it is a really, really sort of close-knit community that we have on campus, but also in the city as well. Our graduates are employable. Our careers and employability team support students throughout the journey and afterwards as well, which is really key. And we want to recognise, reward, and we want to help you achieve what you want and where you want to go, and we want to support you with your university journey and sort of afterwards as well, with your careers and what you've got in mind. So the teams that we've got on campus are there to support and guide you throughout your university journey. And this will all become more apparent as well when you're on campus and you start to sort of interact with the teams and meet new people and meet the departments and support staff available as well. These are our contact details. So that's our main email, which is our inquiry email, and that's monitored every day. So if you've got any questions as well, and it might be that you don't want to ask now, but you've got something like a burning question, then feel free to email in and ask us as well afterwards. Our website's got loads of information, but do follow us on our social media, so our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook. There is, you may have joined already, but we have like a Facebook Freshers a new starters for 2021 group on Facebook as well. So if you're on Facebook and you'd like to sort of join that group and meet new friends, then do follow us on Facebook and you'll be sent details about that as well. But yeah, other than that, if we've got any questions, me and Jess will be around for the next couple of minutes, so please stick them in the Q&A box and we'll answer them.